Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Lightspeed Arena by Tablescope.
Lightspeed Arena is a game that is coming to crowdfunding here in the very near future, so make sure to check out the link down below in the description of this video after you watch it. Now with this game, this is a real-time game in which you are going to be battling it out against the other players in an epic space battle. You'll be playing your spaceships in 8-second increments as you go by the count of a real timer on your smartphone. And what this will be doing is counting down a timer in which you have to place one of your spaceships drawn at random on the table, lining it up as you shoot lasers from it, trying to blow up the other ships, shooting asteroids, other players' bases. Then after everybody has played all of their ships, after all the rounds are over, you'll use your phone to take a picture overhead view and the app will be able to play this out just like a video game, just like a movie scene, and you'll figure out who's the winner based off of the app. It's a really unique, interesting game. Let's go down to the table where I'll show you all about it, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, I have Lightspeed Arena on the table. Let me show you all about this real-time space battle game. Now, I do want to make sure you understand that everything that you see in this portion of the video is prototype, so the final artwork, components, the app, and even some of the rules may change once it's released from crowdfunding. You'll want to make sure to check out the link down below in the description of the video to hit up the campaign page to see all the details on this one and things that may have changed from this prototype that I've received. But what you have here, you are going to have tiles that are going to have space bases for each player. This is the blue player space base. You got the red one over here, the yellow one over here. And players are also going to have 8 spaceships in their player color that are going to have differing lasers firing out of them, different canisters which indicate how many points that spaceship is worth, and then some spaceships will have shields on certain parts of the tile here. And you can make note of that the lasers are different colors, and that's important. I'll get to that here in just a minute. Anyhow, each spaceship is different, and you will mix these up face down like so, and then set them next to your spaceship or your space base. Now you want to make sure that everybody is sitting on a different side of the table. As you can see, I've got my stuff here. We've got the yellow player there, red player there. If we had a fourth player, we would want to make sure that they're over here, and that just sort of ensures that everybody has ample space to be able to move about and be able to place these tiles, because what you're going to be doing, you are going to be using this app here, and we'll come back to what this is in just a second, but this app will be counting down a timer for you, and you'll have so many seconds to flip over a tile, see what it is, where the lasers are being fired from, where the shields are, and then you'll want to align it somewhere out here on the playing surface, and everybody's going to be doing this at the same time, putting out their spaceships, and so you'll want to try to shoot your lasers into the other players' spaceships, their bases, these asteroids, which we'll talk about those here in just a second, and you'll want to line up your shields to block any lasers that are coming at you. And this is like a video game. I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second. But anyhow, that's the idea with this one. So some of the other components, you've got these asteroids that you can play with that are going to give you special things if you hit them. At the end of the game, the Photon Bright is going to award extra points to the spaceships that are closest to it that survive the battle. And then you've got some like Nova Snipe here who, if you can hit it from a long ways off, you get extra points. So you want to snipe it. And you don't have to play with these special abilities. You could put them face down and just keep them out here as obstacles to hide behind or shoot through and that sort of thing. But you want to flip them over because they add some really cool things into the game. Now, after you've got the setup arranged like you see here, and you'd probably want more space than what you have here, what I have in this video. I'm just trying to get everything on frame, but you'd want some ample space here for this one. You would then get into the app, and again, this is the beta version of the app, so it may change a little bit once it's released and out in the wild, but it's going to look something like this. You can change some settings down here and change the timer. You can make it shorter or longer, you pick. I do recommend starting with 10 or 8 seconds, as that's a good amount of time. Anyhow, you can make changes in there, and then you'll hit the play button here, and you'll select how many spaceships that you're wanting to play with. A normal game, you're going to use all 8 spaceships, but if you wanted to play a more compact game, you could only do 6 spaceships, and the print and play game is not really for this, but if you had that, you could do the 4 spaceships. And there's a couple of other options down here. Now, what's going to happen when I hit this normal game button, it's going to say the battle is about to start, and there's this timer down here, and you would leave this face up on the table like so, and it's basically going to count down, and you'll hear the noise and call 1. Everybody plays a spaceship, so we flip it over. I see I've got number 4 here. I'm going to arrange it out here like this, and the other players are doing the same thing at the same time, and as you can see, this is a bit frantic. And now call 2, so we're going to keep repeating this process, playing our spaceships out here, trying to shoot each other, and making sure not to shoot yourself. Now, I do want to point out here on these spaceships, again, these lasers are super important. I'm going to hit pause on this thing here. You can pause it by tapping it. But what the different colors mean is it's going to do different amounts of damage. The green lasers, as you can see, they're small. They're only going to do 1 amount of damage. The yellow ones are going to do 2. The red ones are going to do 3 damage. And again, these canisters are kind of like your life force with that spaceship. So this number 7 spaceship only has 5 health. I say only. There are definitely weaker spaceships out there, such as the 2 ship. It only has 3. But anyhow, you will want to line these up, trying to hit the asteroids, trying to hit the other ships, trying to hit the players' bases, because you can blow up the bases. They do have a health of 4. You don't want to hit yourself. As you can see here, this would be a bad thing. And also, one other thing that's really important to note here is that the lineup where the lasers are, that really does matter. So as you can see, if it was lined like this, that laser does go straight through the ship, and that would hit it. However, if it was something like that, it would not hit the ship. Even though that it does hit the tile, it does not hit the actual ship. So that's very important. You want to make sure you're lining these up. But again, this is real time, and so you are having to do this on the run here, and trying to do it as best as you can. Anyhow, the game's going to continue till you run out of all your ships. Everybody's played all of their ships, and then when that happens, you will, let's return back to the main menu here, and we can hit this demo button, and it will look like this, because you'll take a picture of the overhead view like you could see here. This is an example of what an overhead view might look like. It'll say processing, and then it'll do this. It'll put everything into a space arena, and it'll show you. Now, the number 1 ships fire first, and so the numbers on the ships do matter. It tells you the order in which they fire, and it'll play out like a video game here. You can see the blue player got to go first, and it shot its number 1 ship laser, and it hit something, and it happened next to this Drift Cola asteroid. So there's stuff out here that you get to click and pick up on, and now it's the green players, and you would have this flat on the table because the green player's sitting on that side of the phone here, and you know, they shot and hit other things too, and so this is going to continue around, and you'll just hit these buttons as they come up, picking up points. And again, it's like a video game here. Now, when this happens and you see that this has got the little skull marker out there, that means that that ship has taken on too much damage and it's blown up and it's eliminated from the rest of the battle. So it's not going to fire whenever its turn comes up in the numbers. There's some more stuff for you to pick up. There are little text bubbles that pop up that kind of talk trash on you if you don't do well, or say good things if you did something great. Clean hit, clean down, that sort of thing. So this is just going to continue, and I'm going to try to run through it here and get us to the end of this as quickly as possible, because we got to go through all 8 ships. We're on number 4 here. You can see how bright and fun and interactive this is. It is truly like an arcade video game. Now, I see here that ship that blew up earlier, it's dead, and so it does not get to activate because it's been eliminated from the battle. And so now we're on 5, and we got to get all the way through 8. Oh, and there's another explosion. Or no, that ship's about... No, it did just blow up. And here's another one too. So lots of things are going to happen throughout the course of the battle here. It's a pretty exciting thing. Oh, that was a lot of points on that one. And each of these things that I'm hitting are different ways to get points. Blowing up ships gets you not only, you get 1 point every time you hit a ship, and when you blow up the ship, you get extra points for that. But then if your ship hits one of these asteroids and it survives the battle, then you're getting bonus points for kind of mining the asteroid, if you will. So that's some of the things you want to try to do. If you do blow up if your base survives, if it doesn't get blown up, then you're going to get 4 extra points. So you do want to protect your bases. So here we go. We are almost at the very end here. I think this is the last one. And now it's going to show us the final outcome of this battle. So it's awarding some extra points for these asteroids. As I said, the photon bright gives extra points if you're close to it and you survive. And so here we go. Now it's going to add everything up for us between these 3 players and determine who is the victor. It's counting up the points. And then look at that. Blue player wins because blue player is the best. And you can see here how it broke down all those points. You get 4 points if your base survives, and extra bonus points for hitting things. And that's basically the gist of the game here. So the app really does pretty much everything. You are putting out your tiles, arranging them out here for the battle, but there you go. That's what you got here with Lightspeed Arena. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Lightspeed Arena from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So Sam, this thing is just... I think it's one of the coolest things that we've seen in quite a long time. This is a really unique game. It's real time, which I know maybe some people out there are like, ooh, real time. Yeah. And it gets a negative connotation with it. But this is such a unique kind of game.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what your experience was like playing this as a non-gamer.
I'm not a big fan of real-time games,
sure.
But I think this is very different. It's a very light and fun game. It plays in 10 to 15 minutes, very quick, and that includes the almost it's like replay of the game that shows you who wins. But our kids had a great time with it. They didn't quite have a strategy, but they loved watching the video afterwards and seeing how and our daughter ended up winning, I think, twice. So you don't need to know a lot of strategy.
No,
this is just about
fun.
placement and fun, but it really is unique, and we had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, because there's just so much zany chaos that happens with this game that it's like, man, after you put out 3 or 4 ships, you're kind of like, well, I don't even really know what's going on anymore. I'm just gonna go. And it's so fun sometimes playing those kind of games, especially when they're 10 or 15 minutes. You know, they're not going to be taking up a whole lot of your time.
Yeah. And I think you don't feel as hurt if you lose.
Right,
because you can set it up and play again.
But the thing about this one that kind of takes it a step above all those other kind of lightweight filler type games is the app is just so incredibly cool as it plays out almost like a movie, right? Like a Star Wars movie. You're seeing these lasers fire off in the app, and you're like, I did that. I put my ship out there. I blew up your ship. And it's just really cool. You feel rewarded when all of that happens.
Yeah.
So, really unique game. I got to imagine, Sam, that this would be the kind of game that would work tremendously well with non-gamers. What would you say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just, again, you don't need a lot of strategy. There's hardly any rules. It's just when it's your turn, place a ship out there, try to protect your station.
Right.
And it's very straightforward. So the setup is almost non-existent.
Right.
The rules are minimal. I think it's perfect for a non-gamer just to kind of see what is out there.
And the game is just like, you understand it from jump start, right?
Yeah.
Like you get the things out and you're like, just listen for the countdown on the app, and when it says go, put out your spaceship, line up your lasers. I mean, like, that makes sense, right? Like if you've ever seen any kind of space movie, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
So really cool game, and it does have some extra components that you can kind of add into the game to make it a little bit spicier, make it a little bit more complex, but nothing too deep, to just kind of add in that extra flavor after you've gotten used to the base game. So lots to like about this one. It is coming to crowdfunding, so make sure to check out the link down below in the description of this video, and while you're down there, leave us some comments.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.